What is going on, my fellow drone fanatics? Yes, after months of speculation, guessing, rumors, and even a few leaks, DJI just officially let us know what they've been up to and dropped the curtain on their all-new amazing drone. And guess what? The drone community is completely confused and a little bit pissed off. So let's get to the bottom of this. So yes, unless you've been living in a subterranean cavern, you know by now that DJI just announced the MacBook Air. Mavic Air. And I know all of those amazing professional YouTubers have done some really awesome reviews and comparisons on this drone, so I'm not going to waste your time doing that. What I want to talk about is a little different. I do, however, want to take a quick second to look at some of the specs just to keep it all fresh in our heads before we move on to the next issue. The Mavic Air is being marketed to fill the niche, if there is one, between the Spark and the Mavic. And it pretty much follows that all the way through. It's smaller than the Mavic by almost 50% and a tiny bit larger than the Spark, but it also folds up. So first of all, we look at cameras, and the camera sensor size on these are all three the same. The Spark shoots 1080p at 30 frames per second and 24 megabits per second. The Mavic Pro shoots 4K 30 frames per second at 60 megabits per second. But here's where things get interesting. The Mavic Air shoots 4K 30 frames per second at 100 megabits per second. So theoretically, the Mavic Air could possibly produce a better image. Let's also take a look at the gimbals. You probably remember, especially from my Spark review, one of my beefs was the 2-axis gimbal on the Spark. The Mavic Pro has the 3-axis gimbal, and the Mavic Air also is equipped with a 3-way gimbal. Obstacle avoidance. The Mavic Pro and the Spark have obstacle avoidance only on the front. The Mavic Air, however, also has some on the backside. The Spark had that funky Jedi crap where you could control the drone with your hands. Well, the Mavic Air does that too. It's supposed to be an improved version of that. Now let's talk about batteries, because that's super important. The Spark had a 15-minute battery, which in comparison to other selfie drones was amazing. But compared to the Mavic and the Phantom line, it's kind of crappy because you get about twice as much with those guys. The Mavic Air sits nicely in the middle at 21 minutes. Now let's talk about speed. The Spark has a top speed in sport mode of 31 miles per hour. Slap the Mavic Pro in sport mode and it does 40. But the Mavic Air, probably given its size and new aerodynamics, can manage 42 miles an hour. Now let's talk about radio range. The Spark has a limited range with the controller of 1.2 miles. The Mavic Pro manages a whopping 4.3 miles. And so the Mavic Air chills out right in the happy medium, about 2.1 miles. And of course, if you're following FAA regulations, you shouldn't be flying out of line of sight anyway, so none of that really matters. Now there's a few things that the Mavic Air has that none of these other drones do have. And we already talked about the obstacle avoidance on the back end of it, but it also has a built-in memory. What a novel idea. The Mavic Air only comes with 8 gigs, which isn't much, but it could totally save the day if maybe you forgot your SD card at home. Not that I've done that or anything. The Mavic Air also has improved obstacle avoidance called APAS. This takes the obstacle avoidance to a whole new level, supposedly. Like with the previous drones with obstacle avoidance, you're flying forward towards an object and it decides that you're going to crash into it, it just puts on the brake and beeps at you like an idiot. Well, this new APAS system is supposed to be able to figure out if the drone can safely go over it, or to the left or right to go around it, automatically without the pilot doing a damn thing. So all these things given, the Mavic Air is a pretty decent jump over the Spark. It's just a tiny bit bigger, but with much better features for a couple $100 more. If you remember, the Spark retails without a controller for $399, but most people can agree that the Spark without a controller is pretty pointless. If you want the controller, you're buying the Fly More package with the controller and the extra batteries and all the other goodies for $599. Then in comes the Mavic Air at $799 with the controller, the drone, and a battery with 21 minutes of battery life, 3-axis gimbal, 4K shooting. But here's the biggest deal. The Mavic Pro's been out for over a year now, and it retails at $899, and I consistently see it at places like Costco and Amazon for about $799, the same price as the Mavic Air. And the Mavic Pro, you're getting even more. Yes, it's a little bigger, but you're getting 8 minutes more battery life, and you're getting a few other features that the Mavic Air just doesn't have. So thanks for listening to my rant, and I really want to hear yours. Are you a Spark owner and you're feeling a little shafted with all this? Maybe you're totally okay with it. Or are you a Mavic owner and you're scratching your head wondering why the hell they didn't just make a Mavic 2? Or perhaps you're a total newbie and you're looking at all this and you're going, okay, there's a Spark, there's a Mavic Air, Mavic Pro, the Mavic Pro Platinum, the Mavic Alpine, the Phantom 4, the Phantom 4 Pro, the Phantom 4 Pro Plus, the Phantom 4 Obsidian. What's the difference? What do I get? What's the best? What the hell is going on? So please join the conversation. And of course, if you like what you see, make sure you mash that thumbs up. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell. And of course, have yourself an awesome day. And we'll see you guys very soon.